She was in a band of rubber and making motors blow. So what the school asked her just how fast she liked to go. She said, how many cubic inches you got where it counts? I told her 125 inch, but my motor mounts. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod ain't enough for her. She didn't say a whore. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. But I'm in my rod to fours. She's a hot rod whore.
Yeah, you heard it. That's the intro by the Marauders. The song is actually called Hot Rod Horror. I have a couple of guests tonight. This is the Jeff's Garage, where we're going to be talking about if it fits in your garage, if it fits in your shop, if it fits in your barn, if you use it to work with. We're going to talk about it one way or another. Our loves and hates of all things tools, cars, trucks, you name it, it's in there. We have on the show tonight, we're going to start from last in to first in. We got Blazin here on the show. How you doing, buddy? You're muted, by the way.
I'm good. I'm here to hold the flashlight, pass the wrenches, and spend all day looking for the 10mm socket.
Nice. I love it. I love it. And then we got Benji, my supercar guru, because not my forte, buddy, but that is 100% you. You are my supercar guru, because you actually brought up tonight's subject that we're going to be talking about. And then we have our resident novice, Stephen Jarvis. He has admitted to himself he's not the biggest car guy, not the biggest cool guy, but he's willing to learn. So we're going to teach him a few things. So,
Yeah, I'm just here to hand the parts to everyone, maybe get my hands dirty a little bit, but you know what? Hey, the only thing I know much about cars is seeing them in movies, so there's that.
You can be the shop gopher.
Yeah,
There
I
we
was
go.
going to say, give him the broom, boys. He's going to clean up.
I just want to know if Blazin said flashlight or flashlight. I was
Same
confused.
difference.
Okay.
Okay. Wrong shop, buddy. Wrong shop. So tonight we're going to be talking about. So Benji and I have been talking about this car for a couple days. We're going to be talking about the Mustang GTD. Blazin, as you were saying before we started, you didn't know anything about this car. So I'm going to show a couple pictures here. This is the Mustang GTD. Blazin, Benji already knows what it costs. So Blazin, how much would you spend for this car?
How much would I would spend $5. Well, it's probably about 150 to 175,000.
Oh, sir, you're so off. It is $325,000.
That's a kick in the balls.
Now, the problem I have with that is, and I brought this to Benji a couple times. If I show up at a club and Benji shows up in his Ferrari and I'm like, yeah, Benji's like, yeah, I got a Ferrari. I'm like, yeah, I got a Mustang. It's still a Mustang. It could be a V6 Mustang or a $330,000 car. That is the problem I have with this car so far.
And that's where I disagree.
And I get it. I get where you're going. But if you look at it, and I'm going to bring this picture back up, it is just a wide body on a regular Mustang. However.
And that however is spelled in capital letters.
Yeah, there is an asterisk to that because this has a transaxle. So it has a 50-50 weight distribution. Now, Stephen, you were mentioning something before the show about the Super Snake. Please reiterate what you were saying.
I think it's cool and hopefully more powerful than the GTD, but as I was told, it's not.
well, and I hated actually pointing that out to you, but the reason why I say that is where the Super Snake, great car, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful car, but all the weight is on the front, much like any other Mustang. Yep. The problem with that is it also has that live rear axle, which is, as we all know, Mustangs are crowd killers. So it will kill a crowd because the rear end breaks loose, and next thing you know, some guy's face is on your windshield. This is not that, because this has a 50-50 weight distribution.
Better stabilization.
Yeah, and for a little bit of specs here, gentlemen, I got it here. It's a 5.2 liter V8, 800 plus horsepower from the factory is the estimate. It's not built yet. There's only have the one model.
Is that the base?
That is the well, I think so.
That's probably the only thing you're going to be able to do.
The option.
They're only they're only building 1,000 of these.
Oh wow!
And so 1185 or 1085 Newton meters of torque, which is insane.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and it's only 1,400 kilos. I mean, fuck it, that's a Honda Civic, dude.
That's pretty fast off the line. I wonder what is there any time numbers on it?
0-60 time is right here on your screen. 3.2 0 to 100 kilometers, which is 0 to 60.
Okay.
So 3.2 seconds. That's a fucking rocket ship. And top speed is estimated right around 200 miles an hour.
Yep.
Now the one thing that we do not have,
again, that's an asterisk on that, right? Because those are like what it should be, but that car's not designed
estimated
for either one of those.
Right.
That is not what the design of this car is for. It's not designed for top speed or 0 to 60.
Agreed. It is designed for the Nürburgring and your GT style races. GTD actually stands for Gran Turismo Design. So it, like I said, your Le Mans 24 hours, which, as we've all said before the show, I hope they put it in there because you want it to make for an exciting race. Oh my God. But the only problem I have with this car so far, well, not the only problem. A, it's a Ford. But B is they have not put it on Le Mans or on Nürburgring yet. For those who don't know, a little bit of specs about the Nürburgring, it is 14.2 miles long with 154 corners.
About as close as I'm going to get to that is in Gran Turismo.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, not necessarily, because you can actually go to Germany and jump on the Nürburgring any day.
Anytime you want.
I think it's like $100 for the day.
I think it's cheaper than that.
Is it?
Wow.
I think because you can just do the one trip and go around it and be done. Because it's a part of the highway system if you want it to be.
Yeah.
No shit.
And, you can actually see here. There's the shape of the Nürburgring. There's two shapes, but the bottom picture there, that is the Nürburgring. You can reach top speeds of like 150, 200 miles an hour. And then literally have to slam on the brakes because then you got corner that the fastest anybody's gone around it is 30 at the end of that 250 mile an hour speed straightaway. And that straightaway, Blazin, you mentioned playing it on Gran Turismo. That straightaway is crazy because that corner comes out of nowhere. And anybody that's played Gran Turismo or seen the Gran Turismo movie, in the Gran Turismo movie, the kid loses the car as he comes up over the hill. That's on the Nürburgring. Yeah.
Yeah, that actually was real life, man. That was that story.
Yep.
Well, actually, when you do the research on that movie,
I haven't watched it.
It's
actually a pretty decent movie.
It's a good movie, but it's very, very exaggerated.
Well, just about anything like that is going to be.
Yeah, it's Hollywooded up, and I get that, but great movie if you get a chance to watch it.
I really enjoy it. It's a lot better than what I thought it was going to be.
I agree, because when I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh my God, they're going to fuck it up. But the story is amazing.
Yep.
But you also get back to Nürburgring. He crashes on the Nürburgring because there's a spot where he's doing like, 120, 130, and the car goes airborne because he comes up over a crest of a hill. And that is the big danger of the Nürburgring. For the estimates on this car is that it's going to be a sub 6 minute car on the Nürburgring. To put that into context, I went ahead and did a little research. The top fastest times around the Nürburgring are on your screen now.
Yeah, this is where I don't agree with what their estimates are.
I'm kind of with you there. The only thing this car has the advantage that some of these don't is the active aero. Like
I would say the
really,
torque too, man. The torque is really high.
it is.
So maybe the torque and the cornering, maybe, but I mean, to shave 30 seconds off would be a fucking miracle. Are you kidding me?
Well, it also depends on who's driving.
I could see it coming off the line, coming out of turns, but the straights, no.
Well, the only thing is they haven't decided if they're going to keep this rear wheel drive or make it all wheel drive. If they make it all wheel drive, it'll be a monster. Because
I think do you kind of have to keep it all wheel? Do you have to go all wheel drive to be able to compete with like?
I think so.
The Porsche GT3, GT4.
I think you do. I think you do.
So, see, I would agree with that, but it still does not get you. Let's say you get 31 second shave. That puts you at 5.59, right?
Right.
God, dude, the top car is a AMG 1. It's like, dude, that thing is designed for this.
Well, that's the problem I have with the GT1 is it's literally like Steven said. It's a fucking video game car.
Yes, but I still think that's not even the top car coming out. That's going to.
Oh, I agree.
I still think the Valkyrie's going to smash it. I think the Valkyrie will take it.
I
But
can see that.
they haven't done the testing for it yet. But
well,
I just don't see sub 6 seconds.
This is the point. I'm going to hurt your feelings, Benji, because as much as I think the car is beautiful and it's great, it was designed wrong. One of the things in the design is it does come with a full titanium exhaust. Well, if you buy that car, that means every 5 years you're going to have to replace the exhaust. That is a $10,000 exhaust.
Yeah, but we're not talking about people who are buying this car like you and I.
But I get that. But you're so why not day one of buying it switch to a stainless steel exhaust, because that would have been better. Because the problem with titanium exhaust comes down to one thing: titanium is not designed to be heated up and cooled, heated up and cooled, heated up and cooled. Like if you look at a car that has titanium exhaust, after a couple of years, there's pinholes all through it.
Sure, but you could go like Inconel. There's a lot of companies that you could go Inconel exhaust or something like that to save even more weight, the durability. So there's a couple of different things you could do. But again, there's 1,000 of these, right? So how many times do you think in 5 years those cars are going to get
That's the other thing. It's the other thing. This is the kind of car that you buy as a collector, and it sits there and you polish it with a diaper.
So I dropped the link.
Yeah, go ahead.
I dropped the link to the test drive in the chat.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Well, shit. I'm glad you got that. Because I was looking for that, but I didn't have time. Let me skip this. 1 second.
I didn't mean to cut you off. No.
I'm gonna get this set up. So let me go ahead and share my screen.
Hello there.
Wrong button. So let me go ahead and share my screen, because that's the one thing I didn't know they had a test drive out. So
I did. I just didn't send you the link.
What an asshole. So okay, here we go. Oh, it sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a jet fighter.
Oh. It's not going very fast.
No, but it's cornering. Well, at that speed, it better be cornering good.
Yeah.
It's clean.
Yeah.
It does. But it doesn't look like they're pushing it.
No, this is probably know they're getting filmed, right? So they're not.
Okay, so this is testing too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're just trying to get baselines and stuff.
Right.
Feel better than watching it.
Well, they opened it up there for a little bit. I mean, it's pretty badass car.
Yep, I like to hear the supercharger on that.
You can hear it right there at the end there where I cut it off.
Like let's take this for example, like the Valkyrie, right? People are like, "Oh my god, the sound." Actually, I don't like the sound of it. I don't like to hear that transmission in that car.
I don't either.
It's like I don't know why people are in love with it.
It's like the assholes that put straight cut gears in their transmission, so you can hear them shift. I don't want to hear your shift. I want to hear
No,
your
I don't want to
fucking
hear the
car.
transmission. I mean, the
Yeah.
car is beyond spectacular, but
And you mentioned that wing. I love the way the placement of the
oh
wing.
man, that wing is dude, that wing is incredible. But I mean, it's straight up, it's a race car. I mean, this is a
Yeah,
race car at 300 and something thousand bucks. I think the value's there, and in today's market.
I can
In,
see that, but
in today's market, when you compare what you can get with a Ferrari, that is a Ferrari. At the end of the day, I'm a Ferrari
any
guy.
Ferrari, I'm not. I'm a Lamborghini guy. I'm not the Ferrari guy.
So even I think the long term, you're able to make money on this car.
I
I
think
think
so
you'll be
too.
able. I think you'll
I
be
can
able to
see
make
that.
money if you don't drive it, or you just keep it under 10,000 miles or whatever. I think you
Right.
can make money on this car.
Yeah, but here's my problem with buying a car and not putting miles on it. That's like not fucking your girlfriend, so the next guy has a good tight pussy.
Depends on how much she's worth.
I mean, am I wrong?
No, I
Am
mean
I
I
wrong?
would.
I mean, you know,
I don't usually
if I spend
monetary
300,
value of women, but no,
if
yeah,
I
no,
put $300,000 on a car, I'm gonna beat the piss out of it.
Yeah, but that's the way we view it on people who. I mean, I'm assuming none of us are multimillionaires, right?
I
Not
would
yet.
no,
If I was a
no.
multimillionaire, you'd think I'd be doing these shows.
But, I mean,
Fuck,
you're
I'd
only
be
Wait,
gonna,
look from
owning
your
these
house.
shows.
you're only gonna see a car like that in like rich parts of fucking California, probably.
Honestly,
Not
think if you
necessarily.
yeah
Vegas,
no, and
You'll get guys in Vegas. In Vegas, you'll get guys in. There's a guy in Texas. He's got
Texas,
like
yeah, I could see.
yeah, he's
Texas.
got like the third largest car collection in the world, and he owns like 4 airplane hangars that you can put 747s in, and they're jam packed.
Damn,
And
sounds
I'm
bigger.
sure this guy's yeah, it's
than
insane.
collection.
I think the guys who would buy this is probably the car that they would take out and beat to shit. The guys
Right.
who can afford
Look,
this car because they're not wanting to take out their Ferrari 812 Superfast or their
Yeah,
it's something like ridiculous like a Koenigsegg or a Valkyrie. So
right.
this is kind of how they get the thrills for a third of the price.
But on the other hand of that same coin, $300,000 for a car, or you do what Weston Chapin did, the guy from YouTube. He took a V6 Mustang, he put a 12-valve Cummins in it that's got 1,200 horsepower, and he just spent way less than 300 grand.
Sure.
So, I mean,
but at the end of the day, what's the resale on that?
agreed.
That's the
I
problem.
can see that.
I think,
but
think
if okay, but here's my question:
cars.
if you buy this car, are you really thinking about resale?
A guy like me, no. But the guys who can walk in and purchase these cars.
Where is that bubble coming from?
Is it
that
from
your
me?
phone? Yeah, that was on you.
Dude, I don't know why it keeps doing that weird
That's
stuff.
so weird.
That is weird. I don't know why it keeps doing that.
Notice that before the show.
But the guys who can afford these cars, they're going in. These cars are already going to be bought before they're ever available, right?
Oh, I agree. Yeah. There's
so
a
they're already
waiting
going to
list
be
already.
sold.
I guarantee it.
They're probably already sold. So
there's
the
probably
guys
like
who can
5 of them
afford
sold
these cars,
already.
they're interested in the resale value, right? They want to. These guys are all about making money 90% of the time.
Well, that brings me to my question. Do you think Ford's going to do what they did with the new GT? Like you have to be approved.
I think these cars are probably mostly allocated.
Or like because like I think it was John Cena got in trouble when he tried to sell his GT.
Correct.
He got approved and he tried to sell it, and Ford was like, "What the fuck are you doing? You can't do that."
Yeah, but I think this is super common now. Even Tesla started doing this. Ferrari's huge in this. You can't just get an allocation and immediately sell it. Porsche will ding you now because people are trying to get the GT3s, the new ones, and you can't fucking get them. They're allocated. And it's like, oh, well, I'll show you my allocation. It's like, well, no, you can't. We can't sell you something, and you turn around and sell it for $100,000, $200,000 more, and you make money off of us.
Okay, I see that point, but
a business standpoint, right?
The business standpoint, yes, that makes sense. But fuck you, it's my car. I paid for it. If I want to sell it, I want to sell it.
Yeah, but
I get it. You get a contract.
No, man. You get a contract. Again, I am. I don't like the way they do, like, some of these
I
car
don't either.
manufacturers do some of the business, right? Like, it's pretty
Agreed.
different. Ferrari is probably the worst out of everybody.
Oh,
But,
that's one of the
um,
reasons Jay Leno said he'll never buy a Ferrari because
and I
their
get it.
business
I get it.
practices,
It's
they're
dirty.
assholes.
It's dirty how they do stuff. But,
So
when you get to these super limited 1,000, minus vehicles, I mean, this shit is all allocated, dude.
Oh yeah.
so
There's
as of 6 days ago, the applications to buy one is still open.
Okay, so we can pull our money together and we can buy a tire. Because like they built their one-off wheels, you cannot buy those wheels. But my thing is like, how many replicas do you think they're going to make of this car? Like you and me could actually go build a replica.
You can go make it look like anything.
Each dealership or a dealership's going to make $15K on each one sold.
Wow. Yeah, but
so I don't think they're all.
Yeah, but the whole point of the dealership trying to bring one in is just to bring people into the dealership to buy other cars, right?
Oh,
I mean, that's it.
Because assholes like me, I'll go ahead and just go look at it and then be like, fuck, now I got to buy a fucking car. No, because
I went to Nissan. Yeah, I went to Nissan to look at the GTR when it came in. I was like, oh my god, they have one. So I mean, I immediately went to look at this car.
Yeah. There's the Ford dealership here has got a 2020 Bullet. And I'm in line to buy it. I put $100 down if I have 3 years to fully pay for the car, or they'll resell it. So I'm on. They have it on hold for me.
That's awesome.
It's a mild hold. It's like they'll call me if somebody's like, "Hey, we want to buy it. We got cash." They'll call me like, "Hey, you want your $100 back?" I'm like, "All right." But
jeez, like waiting for an organ donation.
That's what I said. But the problem with that car is it's like 80 grand. Now the chances I'll get a chance to buy it, if everything works out with what I got going, yeah, I can buy that car. But if somebody comes in before me, some guy with more money and brains, he's like, I need that.
So just think, this car is $300 and something thousand, right? Let's say you get one. What do you think on day one you could sell that car for? I say $600K.
Easily $1 million.
I say $600K minimum.
So easily.
Yeah.
You probably get $750.
Yeah. So I mean, it's an immediate investment that you could drive on the road, take to the track. It's a way to kind of compete. I mean, this is a smart move for Ford, right? I mean,
I agree.
You've got Mercedes pumping out excellent track weapons. Porsche does what Porsche does, right? You have to get in this market. I mean,
it's kind of like what they did with the GT40 back in the day.
Yeah, I was just about to say, look at how Ford sold the Mustangs back then. They knew they had to go over to Europe.
Incorrect, sir. Mustangs.
Oh, God. Here I go.
The history of the Mustang, everybody called it a secretary's car.
Well, yeah. Ken Miles was famous for pronouncing that too.
Well, what happened was Carroll Shelby looked at it and he's like, this thing. Ken Miles was a big part of that conversation, but they were like, yeah, get rid of that wimpy 6, put an 8 in it.
Yep.
And of course, lo and behold, back then Ford would listen to somebody in the know, and they built the Mustang. Now, and the Mustang has there are people out there that are live and die Mustang. I get it. I love the Fox body Mustangs. I would love to get another one, but it's one of those things. It's like, if I never have a Mustang, it's not going to hurt me. I mean, and same thing with this. If I could buy it, if I had the money, I'd go buy one for the resale value. But first, I would take a year to beat the piss out of it on the track.
Yep.
Because that rush of speed. And
I think we have to kind of look at stuff like this a little different now too, right? We have to look at this through the age of media and how much coverage things can get and how much more attention it could bring into a brand, right? I mean that's huge. And
Well, yeah,
clearly,
it's a win on Sunday, sell on Monday kind of concept.
I mean,
Look.
correct, because they are clearly going after a younger demographics with money,
Mhm.
a European person who appeals to European cars like me. Like I think the new Corvette is pretty cool. I think it looks a lot like a freaking Ferrari.
It
Um,
does.
Yeah, it
and
does.
I really like it. But at the end of the day,
It's
kind
just
of
a
boring.
fiberglass. It is. It is.
Yeah.
It when it first came out, you looked at it for like 5 minutes. Went, yeah, it's cute. Yeah, okay. What's next?
Isn't
You know,
this the last year for the vet too before they go to the Nova or not Nova Chevelle?
No, for Camaro.
for Camaro,
Camaro. Thank you.
they're
Thank
ending
you.
Camaro,
Yeah.
and just like when the retro styling of Mustang and Camaro and all that stuff came out, it was a new, it was a brand switcher where people
Yep.
started to, ooh, wow, the Mustangs look as opposed to the N95 Mustang, the ugliest Mustangs ever.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
Well,
this
except for the
car,
Bugs,
this
Silver
car
too.
ticks a crazy amount of boxes.
It does.
And it's I think it's a badass move for Ford.
For anyone that, well, I mean, you look at what Ford tried to do with the Mach E. They literally almost lost their. That's
They
why they
almost
changed
lost
it
their
from the
brand.
Mustang Mach E to the just Mach E.
Yeah,
And
well,
it's like,
you ruin a brand that you've been what 60 plus years building.
You talk about
well,
that
and that's
that electric Mustang
Yep.
SUV?
Yep.
Yeah.
They should have never put Mustang on that thing. I don't know
Well,
why.
and I
Well,
think
and that was the
they
biggest
realized that
downfall.
really
It
quick.
almost killed the Mustang brand right there.
So
I'll tell you what, that's a good looking SUV, but it is not a Mustang.
No,
No.
it should have never been.
Correct.
so they're only going to build 300 to 700 each year.
I was reading that they were
Yeah.
doing about each year.
Each
Yeah.
year.
Okay, I think they're going to do 1,000 total though.
So it's probably going to be on the same lines as the GT, the Ford GT. So
Mhm.
so they're stopping the Ford GT. So what do you have to do? You have to have a successor, right?
Yep.
And so they're probably
Agreed.
just converting all that stuff over to the new Mustang, which makes sense because they've staggered that car out for a long time.
Well, and unlike Camaro and Dodge's Challenger and stuff, Mustang's never gone away.
No.
Nope.
And I'm not the Ford guy by any means, but
Same.
and this brings my question. I'm going to ask each of you individually. If you could buy one supercar, would this be it?
No.
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 And I'm not
See?
a supercar type of guy. If I
Right,
had the money,
I mean,
I'd buy an old school
because-
muscle
because
car.
The question is worded if you could only buy one.
Right.
No, I mean I'm going to go an exotic, right?
Exactly.
No,
That's
2 years.
that's my point.
But
That's
this is
where-
not. But we're not their target audience. That's the
I
thing
get
about
that.
it.
I get that. But my point is, like, let's say you get a work contract where you're going to make $1 million a year for the next 3 years, and they're like, okay, you have to buy an exotic car for said job. Is this the one you, or you have to buy a supercar for that job? Is this the one you buy?
Maybe. I'll change my answer. Maybe, and I'll give you the reason why. Because everybody on YouTube or around here, or just around the United States. But I'll tell you what. I'm driving into Raleigh, North Carolina yesterday. Right, 4 o'clock in the
Mhm.
afternoon. I passed a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, and 2 Cybertrucks. I passed 0
This will stick out.
Ford
This will stick
GTDs.
out.
0 Ford GTDs. So if I could go ahead and be one of the first allocations to get one, why in the fuck would I not do that? Because let me tell you, next year I'm going to have another $1 million. I can buy anything else I want.
So
Exactly.
you can't sell it. You can't resell it within the first 2 years.
Yeah, and that's super common. Even the new Corvette had a 6-month policy on that as well. Because if you sold it, it voided the warranty.
Really?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm the king of voiding a warranty, but that's ridiculous.
You rip the tags off your mattress.
Oh, dude, I'll void a warranty before I leave the fucking lot because like if I buy a truck, I'm like, yeah, I'm not taking it off the lot until there's at least a 6-inch lift on this bitch, of course the everything mod that everybody does to a car is rims. Rims and tint are usually the first 2 things done. So, let's do bigger rims, or let's do, I love the Krager SS Chrome Max. Unfortunately, they don't have that equivalent in big rims,
Mhm.
but it's Well, they do, but not. It's not the same. Whoa, those are Gregors. So, and this is why I've said multiple times, I'll never buy a new car ever, because I am the king of voiding warranties, because of the simple fact I can't leave shit alone. I don't want to pull up next to you and we're both driving the exact same car, just a different color. I won't mind to stick out a little bit more. And I get it.
That's
Some
why you
people
buy a
don't.
TDD.
Yeah, and that is a good reason to buy that car, but it's kind of the only reason to buy it. For somebody like you and
check
me.
this out. All right, so Ford, what was their flagship? The Ford GT, right? At this point, I mean that's what it's coming to the end. It's the end of the run. That car is spec-fucking-tacular.
So you think this one's going to be out for a couple of years?
Oh, it's got to be, right? Because if they're only allocating, X amount of they're going to produce, right? So what is a smart move to bring people into your business? The Ford GT is $1 million car at this point, and there's nothing you can do to make your car look like that. But
Now,
you can create a badass car like this car, and then turn around and sell more Mustangs and make your Mustangs. You can sell body kits, and the spoiler is going to be an issue. You're not going to be able to just get that spoiler, but
somebody's going to reproduce it. Somebody's going to reproduce it. I guarantee.
Do you guys think? Okay, two questions here. Do you think with this new GTD, do you think it's ready to take on the bigs? Do you think it's ready to take on the Ferraris, the McLarens?
Okay. In looks, 100%. Because it looks fast standing still. I mean, once again, look at this picture.
Agree.
Like, it looks like it's doing 200 miles an hour. It hasn't moved. The numbers aren't in yet when it comes to like that test and tune that Blazin threw up here. They weren't beating on it. I mean, that was like the way you drive your grandma's Honda Civic.
Yep.
So if once the numbers come out, that can be answered. Like if they do a sub 6 or sub 630, then it's going to be competitive.
I think if it can get in the 640, like the mid to low 640s, it's a fucking weapon.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, that car is a fucking weapon, and you don't just jump in a car and drive it like that. You know what I mean? Like,
you have to know what you're fucking doing. Yeah.
Correct.
Apparently it produces more downforce at 150 than the 911 GT3.
There it is. Like I said, it's got that. Apparently, the body kit that's on it moves hydraulically. And I think it does. What was that system you guys were talking about before the show? The STD or whatever.
What the fuck? Yeah.
DRS.
DRS. Yeah. I think it had. I don't think it has it, but I think they'll probably add it. Like they'll add it to the race car version
in order for it to be a race car.
Yeah, and they'll probably put this in Le Mans. They'll probably put it in the GT series.
Well, you're gonna have to.
You're gonna have to. It's
because that's how it's going to sell. And even without seeing any of the numbers, do you think it passes the eye test? Because that's
the eye test, 100%.
That's going to be the biggest thing. Because now with the GTD, if it does really well, I don't think Mustang or Ford really thinks anything else other than pimping the shit out of the GTD. And when race season comes about, I honestly think if this starts doing very well, it's got to go against the bigs.
Liberty Walk body kits will create a replica body kit for this car.
Well, yeah.
I don't think we can honestly say until we see it on the track.
Agreed.
I mean, yeah.
They have to beat the piss out of that thing.
There's test drives and there's test and tunes, but there's no actual, balls in the wall fucking track.
It's not coming out till 2025, so they still have several more months.
Yeah.
And are we really going to get the real figures when they finally
tune? No, because they're going to lie.
It'll
lie, right? They're going to if it does well, they'll undersell it.
Sure.
If it does poorly, they'll oversell it.
Well,
it's not just that. It's as soon as it
they're
hits
not
the
going to
track.
They're not going to do less than what they're aiming for. So there's no way.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
I
You're
think as soon
talking
as it
about.
hits.
Good,
I'm
sorry.
sorry. Go ahead, Ben. I was gonna say as soon as it hits the track, whoever gets a hold is gonna mod it out anyway, make it even faster and more torquier.
Well,
So I
you're
mean,
going to get
you
your
don't know.
production cars that the people get, and then there's going to be the race car version, right? Just like the GT.
Yeah.
So there's a completely separate car. And what are people going to do? I mean, there's not going to be an options list for
Well,
this thing.
no,
I mean,
but like,
even the GT40 had fucking no options, right? I mean, the
well,
original GT40
but
had three
Well,
options.
smaller, if you put a smaller pulley on the supercharger, you're gaining 50, 60, 100 horsepower right there.
Yeah, but that doesn't. Yeah, but then you're going to start having to retune all kinds of stuff. You got to think this car. We're not talking.
But
about
if you
going
got
and
enough
buying
money
like a
to
regular
spend
Mustang.
300 plus on a car, you can't find a guy to help you tune that fucker? You got
If you
problems.
spent 300 and something
The
thousand on
pros
a
would,
car, the
though.
last thing you want to do is go retune it. Otherwise, why wouldn't you just go buy a Mustang and then you can rip everything out that you don't want, put
I see
whatever
where
you
you're
want
going.
in?
exactly.
Yeah.
I see
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I see where you're going there. But and is it? This is one of those cars
Because
where
we
you
have to think of
buy.
this car as a super car.
Yeah,
This is
you
not-
can't. This is not something you modify, and
No.
it's not your average supercar because it's right now it's technically one of one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, literally.
Well, because they only have one right now. But not only that, there's only going to be what 300 produced in a first year, and even if they up production to 1,000 a year,
No, it's limited to 8,000. So they're not going to
okay,
produce
okay,
more than that. So that's why they
okay,
stretch this process out, just like they did the GT. I mean, they could
right,
have
okay.
produced a bunch of them, let's say in 3 years. Well, but there's still no hype. You know what I mean? You got to slowly put these things, and you got to think some of these cars are.
I'm curious on what the R&D budget was for this car.
Depends on whatever the race car budget was, right?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, this car is ultimately
rule-
going to be their money making car. Hopefully.
But does the rule of GT still exist that you have to produce so many cars of that car to race it?
Well, it's going to be in the European race series, so you would have to look up their standards.
Right.
I'm assuming this is. I mean, how many GT racetracks we have? We have COTA. Or what do we have? Like 3, 4 racetracks here.
Yeah, at 5 if you're pushing it.
Yeah, but you go to like the European, France, Saudi Arabia, all that. Man, there's fucking tracks everywhere.
Agreed.
We just don't have that here.
It's become all about this now. And that's
not necessarily.
That's the sad thing about the whole thing of racing now is that most of your car owners aren't really caring about they want their car to produce, but at the same time, if it ain't bringing in this, and that's
right,
you can literally say that about any sporting team.
I was going to say that about anything, but the thing is the people building this, the people that are in the pits, the people that are designing it, these are the guys that actually make it work, and they give a shit way more than the people paying for it. The people paying for it are like, hey, we're going to make how much off this? Here's the money, boys. Build. Go away.
You know, at the end of the day, so take that. So what you just said. So the people who give a shit about it because their name's on it. That's why they care. They're in front of the cameras. They're in front of their peers, and it's like, my dick is on the line. Let's go.
Yeah,
and they're putting it all out there. So no, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Ford jump in with the new car.
I am curious to see how well it does. Like I said, I have another spec sheet here.
I'm sitting here scrolling through comments, and I see one that actually fits in what Benji was saying. Unfortunately, no matter how excellent it might be, it's likely the vast majority will be bought by people who treat their cars as an investment rather than anything you would, heaven forbid, actually drive. So yeah.
And that's the consensus. That's the one problem, and I get it. You know, it's 300,000. We all don't have that kind of money to throw away. But,
so I was it's going to be north of 300,000. I was looking at it's like being at 350 up to 390. So yeah, it's
and then you got
territory.
Yeah.
So I mean that's actually not a bad spot for them to be in a limited vehicle.
Right. But
well, yeah.
Once again, if you and I are going to buy a supercar that we're going to use, we're not going to get a chance to buy this. Like if we got $1 million
No. And
right
if we
now,
did, we would be on like year 4 or 5 of that allocation.
exactly. You know,
Yeah.
we have to start out with the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, which is fine. Don't get me wrong, because Lamborghini's putting out some beautiful cars lately. Ferrari's got some beautiful cars, even though they're Ferraris. And you want to talk about somebody that'll get a cease and desist letter. If I buy a Ferrari, they'll give me a cease and desist letter before I sign the line. I'll be like,
the beaver you real quick, huh?
Yeah.
All
Well,
right,
because for the simple fact, you know, Ferrari, Whistling Diesel bought that Ferrari where
that 488.
He's beating the shit out of it. They didn't get him because he did one thing. He didn't fuck with the badge. And my first thing is,
owns that car. You know that, right?
No. He sold it because he destroyed it. It lit on fire.
Yeah.
It caught on fire because he's driving it through a cornfield like an idiot. You know, and have you ever seen there's a YouTube channel. Nobody knows whose it is. It's called Tax the Rich.
I've heard of it.
They take these fucking cars that you and I were, you know, wall poster cars, and they take it and they rally the shit out of them. Nobody knows whose it is. And they just posted a new video like 3 months ago. And I think Whistling Diesel was trying to do something like that with his Ferrari.
Yep.
And it caught fire. You know, and it burnt to the ground, you know.
Spectacularly.
Oh, it was beautiful. But when it comes to these cars, you know, this is not something that if you win the lotto tomorrow, you're not buying this next day. It's not going to happen.
Well, what doesn't even exist yet, right? Technically.
Well, no, but you know what I mean? Like you won't even be considered for the list of the first 400 cars. Because
you're not getting that. Yeah, it takes some pretty massive pull. I mean, like, again, why would they give it to someone like us? Like they need to give it to someone like the Stradman, Whistling
Diesel,
if he was still alive.
Correct. They need people to get out there who has huge names so people can see this car and to sell the later versions of this car that's going to come out. And to be honest, it's probably not a bad idea to get one of the later versions.
I was just thinking the newer
updates, you're going to get all that stuff at the end.
Yeah. I don't want first gen. I honestly don't want a first gen of anything. Well, with the exception of like, there's a couple classic first gens that I'm like, yeah, I'm in. But
like a Corvette split window.
Yeah. Oh God, the '63
was that
Vet.
like 63? Is that what that
63.
is?
The 1963 Corvette split window is the most beautiful Corvette ever built. Nobody can tell me different. I'll die on that hill.
I won't tell you different because I agree with that.
I actually, a buddy of mine had one. The first Corvette I ever seen in person, and I instantly fell in love with it. And he still owns it to this day.
It's super rare and it's highly sought after. It's probably one of the most sought after Corvettes, I would assume.
It is.
Like 1 year because after that they were like, the government was like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah. But it's one of those things. It's like you can replicate a split window. The 64 and the 64 and 63 are basically the same car except for that rear window.
Yep.
So you can do it, but it's asterisks. But
so the Ford Mustang GTD, super fun car. It's super interesting. I think it ticks a lot of boxes for the American market that the Europeans get. I think it gets us.
I think it'll be shown up in Europe a lot once it gets in production.
I hope it does, and I hope it brings some of the. And I like F1. I get up early on Saturdays to watch GT racing on YouTube because it's always live. I really want that market to come to America. I think
Agreed.
we're missing out massively. The shit that they have in the European market with racing and the driving legacy, we do not have here in the States at all.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with U.S. racing. For the like in Europe, you won't find drag racing like you do here in the States.
It's
you won't find them go around in a circle making left turns over there either.
Right, because it's boring. Yep. The problem with European style racing is if you're watching on TV, yeah, you can see every curve. But if you're there, you get to see a car every couple seconds, as opposed Yeah, and then you got 5 minutes where you don't see shit. So
Mhm.
in person, it's kind of sucks, but on TV, and the American cars are basically built to go straight. We get that.
We don't have the
Um,
engineering level of detail that those European
Well, I
cars
mean, we
have.
didn't even have it back in the 60s, but you had a man by the name of Carroll Shelby that's like, if you're going to compete with some of those European cars, you have to make a car that is like a European car.
I
And that's
think
why the GT40 was one of, at the time of that rivalry, could push the Ferrari more than the Ferrari could push it. The only
So-
bad thing
yeah.
about the GT40 is brake failure.
no,
But
I
yeah,
think I think
60
America
right?
does have it. I think America does have the engineering scruples to make
It's
more
lazy.
European, but
Now they do.
but they target what's popular here in the States.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that
now, I
Yeah,
that
they
don't think
don't
that's
care
the
about
case
what's
anymore.
popular over there.
See, I don't think that's the case anymore because we deal with social media now, and
I understand that.
then you have so much young money, and young money is looking at Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and like all this, like even Aston Martin that came out with the Valkyrie AMG GT Black Series. These cars are massive. Track
Jaguar's
records.
got that new. He's got that Jaguar's got that new 4-door. That it's a monster. It's like number 12 on the Nürburgring.
Oh
It's a
wow!
Jag.
See, so what do? You bring the European market in house, right? Bring
You
it
bring
here.
it here.
Let's sell
That
some
just
of
means
these cars
American
here.
tastes are changing.
Well,
Well,
they
and-
always
and
do. It
The
it
problem
just
is the
goes in
big
cycles.
three. The big three doesn't keep up with it. That's the
Mhm.
problem. That's why people. That's why you'll always
Always.
have guys. You'll always have guys that'll buy the American muscle.
Yep.
But those same guys, given and I'm an American muscle guy. I love the sound of that GTD sounds amazing. The
You got
the flat,
who doesn't like a damn forced induction air hearing
well,
it, man? That's
and
amazing.
then you listen to like a Ferrari, they got that flat plane engine that it's got a sweet sound to it. It's 180 degrees from what a V8 sounds like in forced induction. So it's hard to explain. It's like the American muscle cars cannot compete per se with European cars. Even like that Jag. That Jag is basically it's a road style race car, but it
I
looks
100% agree with everything you're saying.
it's like a
Yep.
fucking Ford Taurus.
100%
But-
agree.
But it's like in I think it's number 3 in front wheel. No, it's all wheel drive. Road cars. It's like number 3 on the Nürburgring.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, and like
I don't know, man. You get into like
You can't put a Camaro on the Nürburgring and even closely compete with
no, because
any
they'll
Nürburgring.
just build a VW Beetle to smoke your ass.
mhm.
over there.
Yeah, you
And
will.
it's true, they do, man. I mean, those cars are so freaking balanced. They can throw a turbo kit, bigger transmission, and you can't keep up.
Yeah.
And that's
Like
the
you said.
thing, because a lot of those vehicles deal more with aerodynamics than what our vehicles do.
So over there, they deal with driving on all those conditions and blah blah
Oh,
blah.
yeah.
We don't have that here.
Yeah.
So those
Right.
cars are designed for there, and we have our cars designed for here. But all this new money, all this younger money coming up, kind of like our age group, is all this money.
Yep.
We're watching all these European videos. It's like, oh, back when we were little kids, it's like the Ferrari was, you never saw one.
Right.
I fucking
Now
saw
they're
one
everywhere.
yesterday now. It's like, it's no big deal.
I guarantee you, next year you go to a car show that's primarily Ford Mustangs, and you'll see a GTD.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
So what do you do? So if you can't afford the GDT, which I get it. So
What's your
next
alternative?
option? What's your alternative?
Replica.
I know.
Lamborghini. Yeah, replica.
No,
Well-
no. Like I mean, talking about like if you want, like I want the.
If you wanted a
closest thing I can-
supercar,
No, not even supercar. Let's just say I want a
But-
high-end Mustang.
high end Mustang.
Well, I
The
mean, I would
Cobra
say
R.
this,
Do you
the
remember
Cobra R
The
or the Dark
1999
Horse.
N95
No, I'm talking about
Cobra
new.
R.
Like I'm going into
Oh,
the
new?
showroom and buying something.
Dark Horse.
There you
The
go.
Dark
That's
Horse,
your
yeah.
answer. and that is a fantastic looking car.
It does look nice, but as Steven was talking about that Super Snake, which literally comes, it's
It's just
got
another
the
way to
name
rip off Shelby. That's all
no
it is.
no, because Shelby America is part of that Super Snake, and
Well,
the
yeah,
reason why the
but
Super
they're
Snake
pimping that
exists,
name out.
right? But why wouldn't you? Shelby America is still up and running.
Well, I understand that, but at the same time, you can't literally say like they could back in the old days when a Shelby car came out. Carroll Shelby had
He had his
looked
fingers
at
on
it,
everything. I get it,
yeah, and
but
it's just a pimp out job by
Shelby
Ford.
Shelby America still has a production team that thinks like Carroll.
Well, and you have to. You have
Yeah,
to.
you still have like Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, but you don't.
Yeah,
You
and
know what I mean?
Dale's been dead a while. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
but like,
Junior's
and then
trying to get that company back
and
from
then you got
Jason
As
now.
he fucking should.
what's the
Yep.
other one? Saline Mustangs.
Yeah.
Like they're way more rare.
Are
Than
they even still around anymore? I haven't seen a Saline since early 2000s.
That's
the
because there's
point.
like $20+ million to own one now.
Yeah, and then
Damn.
on top of that, you got Hennessy. Hennessy
Yeah.
Oh,
builds.
dude, that's the one we got to talk about next time, dude.
Hennessy's
Yeah.
got
They
that.
just did something big. Like,
yes, they did.
What, 3 days ago? I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
it's like,
next episode. We're going to talk about that
and
one.
I do not understand. I will say this right now. I do not understand why that car does not get more love in America.
Here's the problem. Hennessy is known, but by car guys.
Yeah.
They don't have a big enough name. They're not Shelby.
Fucking incredible.
Oh, they're insane.
They are, but like Jeff said, it's a car guy. That's most of these cars are a car person's wet dream.
No, because like
Curious
my
to me
kid knows
about
what a Shelby is. But like if I pulled up in a Saline, he'd be like, "So you bought a fucking Mustang?" I'm like, "But it's a Saline."
Mm-hmm.
He'd be like, "It's a Mustang, Dad."
But see, you told your kids about that. Now, if
No.
into a
My kids have
blind,
ridden. My buddy that used to live across the street, he had a replica of a Cobra. It was a replica. He built it himself, and it was the closest replica. Like the day he pulled in with it, I was like, I said two things. No way the fucking thing is real, and if it is, I'm gonna hurt the guy because he had a dirt bike in his passenger seat. And so I went over there. I was like, dude, tell me that thing's not real. And he's like, no, I built it. I was like, okay, because I was gonna have to hurt you. You're 6'10", but I'm gonna have to kill you because he literally, and he's kind of a big guy. He literally lifted his dirt bike out of the car, and the first joyride my kids ever got to do was in that car. He was like, "Here, take your kids for a spin," and I was like, "Get in, boys, because here we go." And when we got back, I had to buy the guy a new tire set because he's like, "Don't baby the fucker."
well, you're not supposed to.
And not only did my wife yell at me, but the HOA yelled at me, and the cops followed me into the parking area, and they're like, "Dude, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Test driving? We're tuning, you know,
Doing something you wish you could."
But so my kids, they saw it and they're like, "Dad, what is that?" I said, "It's a Cobra." Like, "What's Cobra?" I said, "It's a Shelby Cobra. It's, it was originally an AC, which is a European car. Carroll Shelby bought it." And I basically went over the story of the AC Cobra or the Shelby Cobra. And so they know Shelby because of that car. But Saline, yes, they do have their own cars, but like what's that Saline the one?
S7?
The S7, yeah, that's the one. The one that you see in Bruce Almighty.
That's
that
a $20 million car.
That's a $20 million car. It's not something you're going to see on the road. And if you do see one, it's going to be under glass. Yeah, it's going to be under glass, and if you touch it, there's a security guy there that's going to shoot you.
Yep.
or the Sheik, the Rainbow Sheik. That guy's got 3 of them.
Rainbow Sheik.
Have you heard of this guy, the Rainbow Sheik?
Yes, and he's
Yeah.
that's the what with his like fucking 800 car collection or some shit.
No, he has 800 Mercedes SL 600.
Yeah, like I've heard of this guy, and it's at this point it's hoarding, right? That's not even a collection.
Yeah.
That's just hoarding.
Well, the thing is, he's got more money and brains. But when he bought those
Well, that's
Mercedes,
oil money.
it is.
Yeah.
But when he bought those Mercedes had to shut down production for everybody else in the world for like a year because he wanted one in every color.
Like 90% of the time when like Ferrari, Lamborghini, any of those guys, like the first ones are produced, have to go to them.
Oh yeah,
that's just how it works. No matter what, they always get one of the like first 10.
But I mean, you can actually supposedly you can actually go and do a tour of that guy's facility. Sure. And I would love to because he has a car. It's a car. It's actually a Dodge Power Wagon that has a living room in the driver's seat.
So it's kind of like the
It is a full house.
There's a Lamborghini. Was it 008 or 7? What is the SUV they have? They've got one in sale for in Europe that's got like a full like U-shape couch in the back.
I've seen that. Oh.
I've seen it too. I just can't remember. It's been a while since I've even thought of that vehicle. But it's like
what they did is it was actually for one of the Sheiks, and they extended it the rear so much longer so they could put the U-shaped thing in the back, like the U-shaped couch. It's really cool.
So this I found a picture, and this is not the greatest picture.
Is it the Mazda?
This is the Rainbow Sheik's Dodge Power Wagon. It's like a 49. And it's sitting next to a Toyota truck.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
It has a 350.
Did you notice the truck underneath its wheels between them?
Yeah. You can see right behind the tire. You see that set of stairs.
Complex.
Well, this guy apparently loves the Dodge Power Wagon, and he built this thing so he can actually drive it out to the desert. Now, its max speed will shock you. It does 10.
I don't even know how it does 10.
Well, it runs a 350 Chevy. It runs a 350 Chevy, and it's got a custom transmission that will go over the dunes, and it'll take it out in the middle of the desert. And it's a house. That the cab is a house,
because
and in the bed is a pool.
Of a fucking house? Are you kidding me?
And the Rainbow Sheik will have it drove out to the desert. Then his buddies and their girlfriends or whatever will go out in fucking AMG Mercedes wagons.
Dude, that thing is like half an acre long.
Party at the house. Yeah, it's huge.
What the fuck? That thing is like 4 stories in the air and half an acre long.
It's insane.
I never even seen that. That's
every time someone goes over to the Sheik's house, they're like, "Hey, nice truck." Oh, that's just my lawn ornament.
That's like the picture you see above it. That's
another truck under it. There's 3 trucks under it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see that.
The red truck you see in the background is a what's that, the Ford F550 or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
So you were talking about custom tires on a GTD. Look at them fucking things.
I know, right? Like
I just want to know.
A whopping 10 miles an hour, boys.
Bob Chandler is literally looking at those tires, boys, and blushing.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even know how to comprehend that truck.
I want to do a full episode on
fucking lawn ornament
car collection, because there's videos of his car collection, and it's insane.
We should do an episode on
fucking truck is mind-boggling. Cool, it's a truck, but just think of the sheet metal work that had to go into making that.
I think he's got like 40 million in it. It's got like 40 million in it.
Dude, you're getting a fucking windscreen the size of a movie theater.
But we're talking about who owns it? A Sheik?
The Rainbow Sheik. Rainbow Sheik. He's the one that built Dubai.
Okay, yeah, he's.
When he got bored, he had his name. He bought excavators and had his name written in the desert, 40 miles long.
So this is what happens when you take oil and base it off the U.S. currency. and then both of them skyrocket, and this is how you get all the money.
The Sheik is literally over there going like, what lawn ornament do I need now?
But
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
like
you
this is
literally
the kind of
cannot-
guy. Like, if you're friends with this guy, he's like, "Yeah, I'm sick today. Here, buddy, go take a car for a spin." He doesn't hand you the keys to the car. He hands you the keys to the garage. The
Correct.
garage is
Correct.
literally it's 6 warehouses, bigger than any Walmart ever, and then it's got a 10-story elevator with 15 cars per elevator lift, and the elevator fits a car that you can take out and then ride on the road.
Wonder how many of those just don't see the light of day. You know what I mean?
I'm sure there's a couple.
Because
yeah.
there's just so many,
Well,
you cannot
no.
get to them.
The worst offender of not touching their cars is the Sultan of Brunei. I don't know if you've seen the videos, but somebody found his car collections in the middle of fucking jungle somewhere, and some of the cars, they're beautiful, they're gorgeous, but they're molding because he doesn't have
Of course.
staff taking care of them, so they are basically ruined.
That's an insult, man. That's
Exactly.
just
Well, yeah, like why in the sorry for the language, but why in the fuck would you buy that many cars and all of a sudden be like, you know what? I have so much money, I'm not gonna fucking touch a single one of them.
Very
that's-
simple. He's
just-
a dictator, and he puts the dick in dictator.
Because you just don't care. You have that much money. What do you even care
Yeah,
about?
but I
I
mean,
For-
at the
it's
same
like-
time,
No, but for these guys, buying a car like that is like you and I buying a pack of fucking gum.
truth.
Do you cherish your pack of fucking bubble gum? No, you toss it in the seat of the car. It's in your pocket. It goes through the washing machine 3 or 4 times. You pull it out of your pocket. Go, fuck! I got gum in my pocket. You don't care.
it's like a tube of chapstick. You buy one
Yeah.
Shut up,
every
Glenn.
time you need chapstick.
No, but it's
So that
you
kind
know.
of brings us back to that Ford. Again, we're not their market, right? It's their market.
You know what? I just now looked at all the comments.
I just did too.
I can't
just
see
noticed
any
I
of the
had one.
comments. So you guys have to fill me in on them.
Well, so yeah, Leggy's here. Hey, Leggy.
Hey, Leggy.
K-Mag was saying is the damn sand tires.
Hey,
Uh,
Kane, here.
Yeah.
Yeah, those tires don't look like they'd get a lot of traction over dunes.
Well, yeah, but you got to remember sand dunes.
I guess it don't matter.
Sand dunes. The problem with sand dunes is they move a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and so those tires, they have a giant footprint. I'm sure, and footprint is key in the sand. You know,
You mean the
there's
one-story house they're sitting on?
yeah, pretty much. And I'm
I don't even
sure
know, they might even be taller than that. They might be closer to 2 stories.
I would love to know the gear ratio for that fucker.
Dude,
I
bet-
don't.
I
think it's a
guarantee
lot.
those tires are 2 stories tall.
Oh,
Just-
easily.
Yeah, they got to be 2 stories tall.
I wonder if there's a specs on that.
There probably is. But I mean, at the
It's
same
big
time,
as fuck. That's
It
the
is a 1950. Actually, here I found it here, boys.
Jesus Christ, man. This
oh,
truck
we're
doesn't even make sense. I thought the Ford 750, that one they came out with in like the early or mid 2000s, was stupid. This thing is just retarded. This doesn't make any sense. Look at this thing.
There's the rear end. That's next to a person.
You're an ant. That's like you driving over a bug.
Dude,
Yeah.
there's probably
That is
$100,000 worth of
That is a
paint.
fucking. That is a 1500 Chevy C10 underneath.
Look at the
the
size of that
license
license plate.
I know. I was just about. It's a damn billboard.
Yeah. There's
Oh,
$100,000 worth of
easy
paint on
there,
this thing.
K-Mag. We acknowledged you.
Yeah,
Oh, I waved
that
at
is
him and
insane.
everything.
Good lord.
Could you
I mean, that-
imagine the wiring that has to go into this thing?
Right?
I mean, just
Miles and
everything.
miles.
Like
Yeah, that's
everything
kind
has
of
to be
insane.
beyond custom made for this. The
Well, and-
radiator, you know, it's like,
and-
oh, it takes 4 gallons of oil, or it takes like 4 quarts of oil. This thing takes 40.
Yeah.
No. You said it was just a regular engine in it.
Well, yeah.
It's
It
all-
runs a three. It's
But
It's
I
a
don't know how they're not
350
running
Chevy.
a diesel engine in this thing.
I wouldn't surprise me if they do, but
It's like
the last I heard, it was a diesel. It was a Chevy 350, because apparently this guy's a huge Chevy guy.
you know, itty bitty motors. You put in those little racetrack cars.
Mhm.
Imagine running that into a regular
You know,
Ford.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a Jeff. I've never seen that before. That's
Oh,
mind-boggling, actually.
there's full episodes of different shows that I've seen in the past that are fucking about the Rainbow Sheik and his collection. Like I
I
said,
have to go look him up.
yeah, he's kind of insane. He's okay. But like I said, I want to see if I can find his collection. I want to find out how many cars he has in his collection. I know it's a lot. His name's the Rainbow Sheik. I don't know his
Great
actual
song,
name.
Leggy. Great
I
song.
hear you, Leggy.
Oh, Leggy pulling out the Southern rock references.
Yes, she is. Good for her.
That's
So he has a pyramid of his vehicles. Sheik Hamad.
His vehicles in a pyramid?
Yeah, well, his building that he keeps them in is a pyramid.
That's what I just said.
Just in a different way.
I gotta present this.
It's bigger than the rest.
Before I show this screen, how much would you say his car collection is worth based on that one vehicle?
I'm just gonna throw a number at $400 million.
770 million.
Steven?
Price is right.
Gotta be worth millions. I'm not even gonna touch it.
I would have bid $1.
I mean, Benji's probably on the money with it.
Holy fuck, dude! We were both way off.
20 billion. And
Yeah,
that's a
I'm not
Guinness.
familiar
Did
with
that
this
say
car,
it's a Guinness World Record?
I'm over
There's
here
his-
like
That's
there's
his
way
Hummer.
out there.
What the actual fuck?
It's sitting next to a Rubicon.
That's not. See, we can call them anything we want, but that's not a real vehicle, right?
I'm sorry. The money going in into his collection is just disgustingly too much.
So just imagine if that's his car collection, what else the rest of his life has, right?
Right?
Dude,
Is
that
he the
motherfucker
one-
don't have 10 wives. That's got
Hold on, is
motherfucker's
he the
probably
one
got
that lives
100
in the-
billion wives.
Is he the one that lives in the
Jesus
tower?
Look at
Christ.
that fucking. Is that a
That
fucking
Ram.
Dodge?
That looks
Yeah.
like a
Yep.
Dodge Ram.
Dude
Jesus
is nuts.
Christ.
See, you can call that Hummer a Hummer, but at the end of the day, it's a kit car, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
obviously.
Well, yeah.
That's a
that's
Hummer with a
neat.
happy ending.
I
Is
think
he
us
the one that-
Americans are living a wrong life.
There's one of his trailers.
The fuck is that supposed
Why
I don't
the
to be?
even know
fuck
what I'm
does it
looking at.
look like something
He
that
owns
NASA
the
put
world.
up on the moon?
It's a
He
what?
owns the world. He owns the world right there.
But with this car collection at being estimated at 20 billion, he probably
Yeah.
does.
That's a
Sorry, I
trailer.
just have to say this real quick. Check me.
Facts on facts.
There's his Jeep.
So he just has a staff that just builds him just random vehicles.
The world's biggest. What the
What
fuck
the
is
fuck
that?
is
Look
this?
at that fuck, dude! It looks like half a fucking train.
This looks like something off of like Snowpiercer.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or like Transformers.
it is
Actually,
10.8
fucking
meters
love
long.
Snowpiercer.
That thing
I
is
was
10
gonna
yards long.
make a Transformer remark earlier about the new Corvette. It looks like a Stingray that's been injected with Transformer DNA.
Mhm.
Yeah, doesn't it?
That's a regular Hummer next to his Hummer.
Told you, it's a Hummer with a happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
That's
is
a
weird.
Hummer on like 50 pounds of Viagra, boys.
A Humvee, the V standing for Viagra.
The dude is nuts, man. He's got just an insane collection.
Perspective.
So
No, I didn't read that full comment.
Oh, sorry. Here.
I just think they're next to some tiny people.
There,
Well, and
cannot
and
be
I gotta
that
say, there's
fucking
gotta be
tiny.
some little
I'm
dick
not
energy.
really into that. I'm not
Yeah.
really into that because it's goofy, right?
Yeah,
I
but
think
when you
But see, here's the
I
thing:
think
when
it's
you have
boredom.
that money, what else can you fucking
boredom.
do with it?
feed people.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's because
It's boredom.
that's how they got rich, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's too goofy.
You got to remember though, he's got like 200 million miles of desert he can go play in.
Again, it's
So,
different strokes.
His
different
idea
folks,
of
right?
helping out the people is like, hey, you see this new big Hummer? Go sit down in front of it, and I'll show you what it can do.
You got to see his Mercedes.
That'll end starvation if they're all dead.
Like, I'm not into it. I understand. I get it. Like, I'm just not into it
Yeah,
because
no,
found-
it's
I did
stupid how
find my new wish list car in his collection. It's loading now. I need one.
Why is it on blocks?
Well,
No,
I
that's
think it's under
trees.
construction.
That's
Those are
because that's
trees.
what you have to do in order to put them tires on.
Yeah, I think that they had just put the tires on, or it's under construction. But
So clearly,
Mm.
at this point, this guy
Those are
doesn't give a
tree
fuck
trucks for
about the
golf.
regular version of cars. He just uses those
No.
as
Oh, no,
base
he
scales
has-
to build bigger scales cars.
Well,
And
yeah,
He's
he's
like,
cares about.
that
Bob
same kind
Chandler,
of
very
Mercedes.
smart guy.
That same kind of Mercedes. He has like 400 of them.
This dude is the whistling diesel of the Middle East.
Yeah,
He's
pretty
like,
much,
fuck micro machines. I'm going macro machines, motherfucker.
right? Macro.
He's like,
penis.
Bigfoot? Never heard of that vehicle before. Look at my monster truck.
This is
Yeah.
That's
just
literally
weird.
what he's doing, is building monster trucks just out of shittier vehicles.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily, because actually, I found a picture of his rainbow cars. He calls them. These
You
are
know,
the-
I
these are
might
some of the
get
Mercedes.
assassinated by the Shah for this, or the Sheik for this, but you have to have the tiniest of dicks to do what he's done to some of these vehicles.
That looks
No,
like
I
that
don't-
one.
Yeah, but
thing.
do you know what? You can have the tiniest dick, but he's got all the pussy. I guarantee it.
Well, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, because of the fucking
Yeah.
billions.
But here's the thing,
Of
though.
course.
Yeah, I don't think it's little dick energy. Like if it was you and me, and we got money all of a sudden,
Dude,
we
that's
built
little dick energy. I
100%
don't.
little dick energy.
I'm glad
This
you
guy's
included
had
you
money.
and Steven, not me and Blazing down here.
No,
That comment.
but this guy's had money since birth. He's bored. It has
Yes.
nothing to do with little dick energy.
And
he's
he's got
bored.
the world's biggest sandbox.
Yeah, he's
Well,
got
yeah.
a big sandbox. You know, I guarantee you he's bought one of them fucking dump trucks that you see, the biggest dump trucks in the world that use for mining. He's probably
Yeah.
got one of those. He's like, I'm bored. I'm going to drive that fucking
Oh,
thing.
that 6-story thing.
He's
That's
he's at-
amazing.
And I think that's what's that Power Wagon's based on. I think that's what the frame is.
It's got to be,
he's-
because you can only
he's
cut
that,
them into so many parts, right?
He's
You
the
have
guy
to
that
base
shows
off
up to
something
an auction knowing that he can buy everything, but he lets everyone else bid just so that he can be that dick
Yeah.
that's like, well, I let them try. Here's all my money.
No,
I'm
but-
buying the auction
but-
right now.
he's
If
that
this
guy that shows up to the playground freaking sandbox with a Tonka toy and kicks all the Hot Wheel collectors out.
Yeah.
Exa-
Well,
yeah.
That son of
Exactly.
a bitch.
we've all seen the
Bad
movie.
memory, Shinji.
Not to change the subject, but Steven brought up auctions. We've all seen the movie Joe Dirt.
Yep.
Joe Dirt drives a Roadrunner
Roadrunner.
Yep.
in that movie, and it's a piece of shit. It just sold at auction. Anybody know the price?
The one from the movie?
I've been guessing wrong, so I'm gonna say
I'm gonna say 80 grand.
200 million.
I'm going to
Ouch!
say
You're over. You're over, buddy.
I've been under all fucking.
I mean,
night.
at least he's on brand tonight. I mean, he's going over.
I'll say 554.
Love you, Blazing.
It went for 300.
I got you.
300.
300 grand.
Damn, I was
$300,000.
going to say
Where did,
374. but I was
which
like,
one
you know what?
sold it? Barrett Jackson or?
It sold at Barrett Jackson.
Well, of
It
course
is-
it's gonna go more than
Now-
it should.
It was the movie car. It does run better than it did in the movie. They tuned the
I
motor.
would hope
'cause
so.
they detuned it for the movie, or actually added effects. But
Facts on
but-
facts, K-Mag.
But the thing when it comes to that that car is that car, if you fix it up, granted, it's a movie car, you probably shouldn't touch it. But if you fix it up to stock level, whatever you put in it, you're going to get out of it when
Major
you
money.
resell it.
Yeah, yeah.
Major
Because
money.
those old Dodges, you can buy one, fix it up, destroy it, fix it up again, and then sell it and get every dime back.
Do you know what
Yeah.
that car reminds me of? It was like 60 years before its time. It reminds me of the Asian market now, where they do
Mhm.
those dramatic wings and things like that. And that's what
Yep.
that car is. I don't know what that culture or that scene's
It's
called.
called it starts with a B. It's Buzazoko or something like that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But that's what that car reminds me of, but like 60 years before its time.
Well, did you guys see what the original Bullet Mustang went for at auction when they sold that?
incredible money.
I thought it went for like like 1.2.
Yeah, it's
And
incredible
Steve
money.
McQueen actually offered the guy that owned that car more money than what he got at the auction, and the guy still said no.
There it is, Barrett Jackson.
Love that it's the same color too.
Like it looks, they didn't change anything, but they fixed the motor.
Yeah,
That's
But-
amazing.
and that had the
Given the-
440 in it too, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
and that's it. Well, no, I think it didn't, because if it would have had the 440, it would have gone way more than 300.
Well,
You've been
didn't
talking
he say in the
450.
card that it had the 440, or was
Yeah,
that
that's
the
a
card
line
that
he had
he
to
had
read
before?
anyways.
No, because the one he was trying to buy out of the salvage place had the 440 with the
Yeah,
six-pack.
that's the one. Okay,
It was it was
Hemi.
also a Roadrunner.
or
The
yeah.
Hemi is the motor.
No,
but
I thought it was a CUDA.
It was
I thought he had a
no,
CUDA.
I believe it was a Roadrunner.
Barracuda.
It was the Hugger Orange.
Leggy, where you at
That's
on
Friday
that?
night show, Blazing. That's Friday night show, buddy.
Saturday. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's Glick's House of Music.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
Glick's
you're right.
is-
Totally right about
Sorry, it was a GTX convertible.
Wow.
He shows it's the one they show up in the end of the movie. I got a picture of it too, but
That's
yeah,
one car I'm surprised that's never come back.
well, the problem with the GTX is it's not. There's only 2 movies that I can think of that actually show that Plymouth GTX. That is the same boy from Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
Tommy Boy was the Plymouth GTX, same model year. I
I
believe.
still love when he forgets to latch the hood because he put the fucking kept
What'd
the
you
oil can in
do?
there.
Movie nights is Sunday.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, okay, I get it.
but it's the GTX it was a nice car. It's a beautiful car. And yes, it did come with a 440 with the 6-pack, but it wasn't as popular as the Chargers and the Challengers.
No.
Even the Challenger back in the day, which was a shorter version of the Charger, if to be honest, were badasses. They're just they're not beloved now like they were back then, but those things were awesome. Like in the first couple, I think it was the first 2 seasons of Dukes of Hazzard, Daisy Duke drove a Challenger that would have smoked the General Lee, but the General Lee was the hero car.
First, she drove the guys crazy. Then she drove the truck.
Yes, this is fact. Not anymore. She don't.
No.
Blazing, like he had a question or something for
I
you.
answered it in chat.
What'd she say?
Okay. I missed that. All I heard was leggy, but I missed what you said, Blazing again.
This sucks.
Yeah,
I don't have Wi-Fi to be able to see the comments.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, the beauty of car collections is you get these, like if I had a car, like I'm assuming if you had a car collection, it would be mostly supercars.
It would
Me?
be.
I would have
probably 8% supercars.
I would have such a weird collection because, like, I'm the kind of asshole that I don't know if you saw it. There was a couple years when you remember the Ford Focus when they first came out, the little hatchback.
Yep.
You could buy a kit to put a 350 in it.
Are you kidding me?
And make it rear-wheel drive.
So I went to Nopi 2000 in Atlanta, Georgia, and I watched 3 of them drive by, and I was like, "How fucking cool is this?"
I want one. It's not something they're a dime a dozen, but I want one, and then I want to put the 351 in it. Make it a badass. But that's what my collection would be. It would be just the weirdest cars. Like I want the car from National Lampoon's Vacation.
The cruiser, or not the cruiser?
It's called the
what the fuck is it called?
See, I'd want like the DeLorean Echo 1.
Yeah.
100%.
Like
those would be there too.
See, that shit I'd buy, like Hollywood famous cars, like the DeLorean, fucking Batmobile from the
But you know
60s.
what? They don't go for
There's
like
a guy.
money,
There's a
though.
guy from Ohio. He has the Michael Keaton style Batmobile.
I'd
Well,
buy that one, too.
you know NFL, former NFL quarterback Doug Flutie. He has the original well, not the original, but one of the replicas of the Batmobile from the TV show.
I think the real one's like rotting out in the field or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Well, even the DeLorean, There's a show on HBO. It's called, I think it's called Back in Time, where Christopher Lloyd and this other guy try to find the original.
It's the guy from
DeLorean.
Expedition Unknown.
Yeah, and they not only find it in the back lot of Universal somewhere, and it was sitting on where people could see it, but people were stealing parts from it
all
Yeah.
the time.
and so they rebuilt it, and now it sits and fully restored.
What was
in-
the
in-
chassis for the Michael Keaton one? Was that a Chevy Lumina?
No, it was I
No,
believe
it have the Chevy Lumina. I don't think was out then.
no.
You're talking what mid?
The Michael Keaton
1989 Batmobile.
Was it 89? I thought it was 87.
89.
Okay, 89. Okay. Was the Lumina
That was the
out then?
first Tim Burton one.
spec.
And I thought it was a Lumina, but I could be wrong.
Boy, I think they're going to remake that one or something. I just heard, and Michael Keaton signed on.
Michael
I know that's
Keaton's
Sunday.
coming back.
Yeah,
Michael
he is.
Keaton's coming back as Batman
So-
for one more time.
They don't say what frame it was, but it was 260 inches long, 94 inches wide, 51 inches tall, 0 to 60 in 3.7, 530 horsepower.
There's some real
if-
specs on this thing.
These are real specs.
Yeah.
Because
Holy fuck! For 1989.
the turbine engine out of a Rolls-Royce helicopter. I don't
Well,
see
and see,
anything
for a
on
lot of
what
people,
frame it
like
is. I
Michael
think it's a
Keaton
custom
is
frame,
the
though.
Batman because he was the very first on-screen Batman in a movie.
Correct.
Unless you count like the
1500
serials back in the day. But...
No, I don't count like Adam West or anything like that. You're talking about movie.
Well,
Yeah.
no,
Would
I'm
be what I would
talking the
consider-
serials like back in like the 30s.
No,
So-
I don't count that either. That's different.
1,500
Yeah.
foot-pounds of boost in that fucking thing.
So
This is the real legitimate fucking specs for 1989.
Not the one they used in the movie.
Oh, I
The-
was
no.
getting
So-
ready to say.
So,
there's
no,
fucking
when
way.
they
It's
when they
probably
built
the
the one
stunt
for the
one.
movie, when they built one for the movie, it ran a 350 Chevy because it had to be reliable.
Correct.
But when they designed it, the designers were like,
Yep.
Tim Burton was like, "Hey, you guys are the car guys. Just make your wish list." And then the stunt drivers and the builders were like, "Yeah, we can't do that because it's not reliable. We'll take what you guys wrote down here and put it in reality." So, I guess like 20 years ago, the specs were released where people were like, "This is what it was supposed to have."
Dude,
And then there was a bunch of builders that found those specs. It was like, "Hey, buddy, I got an idea. Let's do it." And they built the actual one.
so
There's
it's
a guy
funny
in
how
England that drives one.
technology's come a long ways, dude. I've got several good topics we can do for future episodes.
Well,
of
like
this
a
show.
lot of people
This
didn't
is
know
fun.
and I know this is probably for a Sunday show, but a lot of people didn't know that in order to speed up the Batmobile in the TV show coming out of the cave, they did it in reverse.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Well, yeah.
rewound it so it looked
Yeah,
like it was
because-
coming out
because-
faster.
Because the Adam West Batmobile was basically a fucking Lincoln, and it
Sure.
weighed more than my house.
Yep.
And it was not fast.
No,
Like, I think its top speed was like 70.
I was
Yeah, but
building
every car's
the
speed back
actual
then was
model
70.
of that car until they decided to say, well, we're going to delay it because of, a lot
Oh,
of
you're
people
doing that-
wanted
that-
it.
Yeah. Well,
And I
there's
cried
a-
because I'm like, well, I'm
that
not waiting
same
2 years
company-
for it to come back.
there's a company, you guys know who Adam Savage is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do a whole episode on Adam Savage because there's something about that dude. When he's building on YouTube, he just turns his camera on and starts building. He was in
Adam
Mythbusters.
why does that name sound familiar?
Mythbuster.
Mythbusters.
He was the
Oh,
glass
okay,
guy.
yeah.
The guy with the glasses.
Yes.
He's got a YouTube channel
Cool.
called Tested,
Yep.
and he builds movie props. He's got a thing for boxes. I don't get it, but he'll build a box for his hat or something like that. But he's meticulous, and one of my favorite things to watch him do is shop infrastructure, because his shop is not bigger than my. It's maybe 2 of my bedrooms, which isn't that very big, but he's doing something similar to what Steven's doing with that Batmobile, but he's got the Ecto 1 version.
Yep.
And it is 1/8 scale. It's like
Mhm.
this.
Damn.
Every week new parts come in, and he built it. And he builds it live. He does a live feed as he's building it. He talks about stuff. And then he does some of the most amazing weathering on stuff. Like he'll customize. Yeah, he I think
Bye,
he had
Benji.
a oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in a hotel, so he's got
Yep.
shitty reception too.
Fair enough.
But I want to do an episode about Adam Savage because when he builds, like, go on to YouTube, put in tested, and look at some of his videos.
I've watched it before. It's been a while, but yeah.
Well, he one of the things he did a video on is Hellboy's gun. He built an exact replica that he milled himself from a solid piece of aluminum, and it functions. I mean, it doesn't fire, but he built the bullets out of resin and stuff, and he does a lot of cosplay stuff, which I get, but not my bag.
He's a nerd.
He's a huge nerd.
He's a smart
fucking nerd.
But
so just to go back real quick on the DeLorean and Christopher Lloyd, I posted a link in the private chat when you want to bring it up.
Yeah.
I just think this is like a neat little factoid.
You know what? This is true.
The DeLorean wasn't almost used in the movie.
I'm gonna actually screenshot it. No, so this is actually a real thing that Blazon's brought up, and I'm gonna actually screenshot it because it's faster. And besides,
did you guys know that the DeLorean actually, at one point, they were not going to use that car?
They were going to use a refrigerator.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. I'm glad they went with the DeLorean.
Well, I'm glad that they, instead of Eric Stoltz, they went with fucking Michael J. Fox.
Apparently Stoltz was shit. So,
yeah.
To what Blazon brought up, so we've heard of AutoZone, Pep Boys, and things like that. Well, apparently, and O'Reilly's, on O'Reilly's website, you can actually put in the search for the flux capacitor. And
I've heard about that. Yeah.
They don't actually sell it.
Nope.
No.
They don't actually sell it, but they keep it on their website because it's funny.
It is.
When I have kids, I'm gonna screw with them so bad. I'm gonna take them to O'Reilly's and be like, "Go get me a flux capacitor." To see.
Well, believe it or not, to build a functioning, you can actually build a functioning flux capacitor. There's plans online. It's not cheap. It's not easy.
Well, yeah, and it's also fucking nuclear. Or no, it's plutonium, isn't it?
No, the flux capacitor is just electric. The car is run on nuclear. The flux capacitor, like you can build one. Really? I want to interview them. I want to interview them.
That would.
I want to drive that thing at 88 miles an hour and be like, "See you later, bitch."
Yeah, the problem with the DeLorean.
Yeah.
Another unknown fact about Back to the Future: the speedometer on a DeLorean does not go that high. It goes to 80.
It doesn't. Yep.
They had to build that speedometer. But there are a couple of guys that have built replicas, and most of them swap out the engine first thing. There is a guy, he's got one he's building. I'm watching him on YouTube. He puts up a video like once every 6 months, but oh yes, yeah. Send it to your Instagram.
I'm trying to get all the comments. I'm sorry, everyone.
That's fine.
You're good.
This guy, he put an LS3 in it. So it's because it's the only LS that would fit in it.
Not to get off topic with the DeLorean, but did you guys have seen the movie Duel, right? With Dennis Weaver, and it was kind of like Jeepers Creepers before Jeepers Creepers.
Right.
That actually sold at, I think it sold at, I don't know if it was an auction or if someone had went to a car show and actually seen it, and they bought it, and I think they paid like, and rumor, I think they paid like $100,000 for it.
Jesus.
And like, I know actually a guy that has the Green Goblin semi truck from Maximum Overdrive.
That truck is all over
TikTok.
Yes. 100%.
But I know a guy on Facebook, and I want to get him on this show. But
tell me you wouldn't drive that fucking thing.
Oh, I'd love it. like even in that movie when you see the Green Goblin part of it, it's so cool.
Well, it's like if you like. Okay, so here's an interesting question, gentlemen.
Damn, we could
The
do
movie-
a whole thing on movie vehicles in this
Well,
shit.
well,
We could do that another night, but yeah.
yeah.
I know.
Well, for reference, for the movie night episode, if you could own a movie car, what would it be?
The original Batmobile from the Adam West days. I shit you not. Actually, I have a picture of myself as a kid next to a replica, and it's always just been like this thing for me.
Like, I would be the person that if I ever got the chance to jump in that car, like, I would want the person right next to me reciting the atomic batteries to power and just go, like, go and push that
So
thing
that
out
would
the...
be yours as well.
No, mine would actually, and this is kind of one that I think my dad would agree on, and I should try and tell my dad to watch this show because he loves cars. But I would like to get the car from Vanishing Point and not drive it into two
Okay.
bulldozers at the end of the movie.
Agreed. The only problem I have with the Vanishing Point car is it's just stock. It's
Oh,
not-
it is. It is.
Now, see me, and this is kind of this car is also stock.
Don't sell the Speed Racer car. I'm gonna kick you.
No.
The Mach 5?
No, I want Christine.
Oh,
A
good
Plymouth
one.
Fury.
Now the problem is my wife. I found like 4 of them I can buy. I could afford it at the time.
Oh, yeah,
And my
you can
wife told
afford
me
them
every
easily.
time. Well, not really, because they're like $100,000. But my wife told me each time, nope. I don't care what car you buy, just not that one. She says that's
To get
the
a
only movie
replica of
car,
it, or...
because it's kind of a scary car, dude. Because I would literally set it up so that when you walk by it, it would make a noise or something. Like it would have a
That's
sensor.
okay, Benji.
The lights would turn on or something. What do you say?
His phone battery died.
I figured as much.
But for a replica, not stock.
Oh, dude, I would totally just
For a Plymouth Fury, it can't be for a stock Plymouth Fury. I'd be surprised. if it
in
was
red.
$100,000.
In red, people want a fortune for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the problem is, like, you can get a black one or a gold
I
one.
can't
or, you know,
believe, and again for the movie one, I can't believe they're remaking that.
I was gonna say something, but I bit my lip.
no, go ahead, please, by all means.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
Blaze.
no, I'm trying to
about-
keep the movie talk for Sunday nights.
I know,
I'm,
it's a
I'm
hard thing.
trying
No,
because
you're
there's so
good.
many cool movie vehicles out there. Like, oh man,
Now we have to do a whole movie
Sunday,
vehicle episode.
big things happening on Sunday, people.
Yeah,
We'll
see?
do a Sunday night garage night crossover.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, me and Jeff.
That's
we
what I
were
was talking about.
it earlier,
We're
too.
good. We were talking about it earlier. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you all for showing up, for coming onto the show. Like
Anytime,
I said,
brother.
I talked about doing this show when we first started the shows, and I kind of got guilted into the business show and then ditched by my co-hosts because life happens and I get it. And you know, for the longest time I was like, will a car show really, or a garage show will really fly? But you know, like I said, it's listen to Glick and them you guys talk about sports. I glaze over.
Same here. Same
you know,
here.
But when it comes to, like, I want to do Blaze, and I definitely want to have you on for my motorcycle show because
yes.
you're kind of my bike guy. You know, Benji, he's a supercar guy, and I don't get me wrong, I'm the kind of guy, and my wife makes fun of me. She calls me Vin Diesel.
Why?
And I'll explain. Give me 1 second here.
Because he's the one that's always ruining the nice car at the end, and you're just like, you fucking idiot.
No, she calls me Vin Diesel for one reason. She says,
Oh, Benji's back.
Vin Diesel has a line in the Fast and Furious movies. He's like, he can appreciate a car in any form.
Fair enough. Yep.
And that's the only reference to why she'll call me Vin Diesel. Because for me, you could show me a piece of shit Honda Civic. I'm like, this fucker's got potential.
I'm the same way with bikes. I'm the same way with bikes.
any car can be cool, and cool is subjective, as we all know. And that's the point of, there's guys, especially in this town. In this town, yeah. In this town, there's not a lot of guys that have money. So they'll buy like the Ford Ka, which I have to show you guys a picture of one. It is literally, it looks like a shoe. And let me find a picture because you guys are going to shit yourself.
Screenshot.
We knew what you meant, Leggy.
The Ford, well, I'm sure Leggy's probably seen these. Let me just find a decent picture.
What wasn't the Batmobile in the Adam West one? Wasn't that a Ford Galaxy or Fairlane?
It was a Lincoln. It was a Lincoln.
Because I know the one in Green Hornet, the original TV show, was a Lincoln MK3.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I fucking forgot all about that car.
So this is the Ford Ka. It is an ugly piece of shit. It's a 3-cylinder. It's not a great car, but there's guys here that will modify them, and they kind of look cool. I mean, for as much as they can.
They'll pimp your ride.
Well, the thing is,
it'll come out looking like a Cheech and Chong vehicle.
No, but like the thing is, the car culture is, it's not like, we all don't have the money to go out and buy a brand new fucking, Silverado and pimp it the fuck out. Yeah. Who the fuck's got $300,000 to drop, $100,000 on the truck and then another $200,000 in modifications? So
not this guy.
Yeah, join the club,
I'm broke.
But it's like, even with my Eclipse, the Eclipse is, I even as it sits, I get offers on that car, and I won't sell it. I refuse to sell it. Yeah, that's the old shape. Yes, that's true. That is true. But a lot of those are here. But you get people that, like, there's so many Volkswagen Jettas that have been modified in this town. They look pretty good. And yeah, some of them might not be my taste. And some of them is like, dude, did you build that in your garage with cardboard? I can see what you're trying to do. You just failed. So the willingness to try is all that matters. And if it looks good to you, more power to you, buddy. It might think, it may not be everybody else's thing. But if you like it, that's all I care about. And if you want to shoot the shit about your car, or hey, maybe you try this, or maybe not so much shit that you found at AutoZone on sale. Because we've all seen those cars. But yeah, like I said, I appreciate you guys showing up. We're getting close. We're over. I only wanted it to be an hour show because we all have lives, and the 3-hour show's tomorrow.
No, we don't. That's why we do podcasts.
But I appreciate you guys coming. We're gonna close this out. I'm gonna play the intro as an outro again, and then we're gonna do our sign-offs. Tomorrow night is the Nonsensical Nonsense. I gotta come up with some stories. I gotta find some news articles for that.
Same here.
Of course, Thursdays is Talking Shit. Saturdays is the Nonsensical Nonsense Open Door Challenge. Sundays is Jerabishi and his movie podcast. And then Sundays, or actually no, Sundays. Sorry, Sundays is yeah, you know what I meant. And then Monday is Men's Mental Health. And then we're back again to the most important show. Let's be honest, this one. And I have a surprise. I have a surprise coming for Saturday. I'm working on something for the Nonsensical Network. Chris and I are kind of working on it together.
Nice.
I got a little picture that I'm going to share that, I did ask for headshots.
Dude, I can't fucking wait.
I have one already built.
He's memed us all. He's memed us.
Well, no.
In a way.
Oh, I will though. I do have one that's already built that I will show on Sunday. It's not the official one.
Saturday.
Because we're going to Saturday, yes.
One of those days.
One of these days coming up. I forget what day it is every minute. But it's not the official one because I'm doing one that is just the Nonsensical Network. And then I have one that I played with technically two because I had to take my digs somewhere. That is for not just the people that are on the shows, but people that occasionally pop up as well.
Oh
So,
God.
we're going to do sign-offs here in a minute. I haven't even thought of one yet, but we'll figure it out. So let's go ahead and we're going to play the outro, which is the same as the intro, and then we're going to sign off.
She was in a burn rubber and making motors blow. So what the school asked her just how fast she liked to go. She said, how many kids can she got where it counts? I told her 125 and she broke my motor mouth. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod ain't enough for her. She didn't say a whore. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. And them hot rods are fours. She's a hot rod whore.
You have no idea how many times I've listened to that song since I found it. It
He's
is
waiting
constant.
for the banjo edition.
It actually does have one, believe it or not. So Blazin, give us your Jeff's Garage outro.
Well, flashlight batteries are dead. I still haven't found the 10 mil socket, and I got more whiskey to drink.
Amen to that.
That's a good one.
Benji. Yeah, I like that. Benji?
Well, it's time to close the garage door because we got to go home.
Yeah. And Steven, what do you got for me?
Fuck, I dropped another bolt in the fucking motor mount.
Goddamn rookies.
You were
No,
late.
right?
You were late with getting back with the freaking carburetor, man. What the
Freaking everyone's telling me, hey, give me the car parts of Jeravici, and I fucking try and help them out, and then they're taking too long, and I try and do it, and it fucks it all up. Sorry, guys.
He's like, what's a muffler?
So,
Jeff, what do you say, pal?
my outro is kind of a let's tune the carburetors and we'll see you next time.
Sounds great.
Boom.
Bye, boys.
Laters.
Later.